Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is just going to be a speed paint of my character Blyte, who I've been kind of drawing in the past couple of videos. But today I'm going to talk about some art goals that I have in the next coming months of this year. So I guess my first goal is to actually draw every day, which I've been doing a pretty good job of recently, I think. Usually in the mornings and the afternoon I will just sit down on one of my tablets and I'll just draw, and it doesn't matter what it is. Usually it's my characters, Bram and Blyte, who I've been trying to come up with a story with, and sometimes it'll just be, you know, a background or a random character or just, you know, portrait, or sometimes I'll use a reference and just redraw somebody who I think looks interesting. And I think it really helps out a lot with how you motivate yourself. You know, because if you get in the habit of drawing every day, then eventually you'll just, you know, it'll come natural to you. You won't have to force yourself to do it. You'll just be like, hey, today I really want to draw. And then you just sit down and start doing it. And I think digital art for me has really opened up a lot of doors with drawing every day, because I would hate, when I was doing traditional art, I would hate wasting paper and, you know, going through sketchbooks, and I'll just start drawing on something and I'll hate it, and then I'll turn a page and start again, even though I could have erased it or just, you know, use the back of the paper. And instead I let my feelings get in the way of me actually producing art, which is not good if you actually want to improve. So digital art, you know, if you want to start over, you just clear the page and just begin again. Like, you don't have to save it, you don't have to ever look at it again if you do not want to. But I think that actually really helped out a lot with my producing of actual pages and art to look at. And another thing that I really want to get better at is using references. And I will use references if there's a pose or a face that I can't capture with just my imagination. So I will, you know, go on Pinterest or some other kind of like app or whatever, and just, or Google Images, that works too, and I'll just like look up a reference. But most of the time it's like really crappy photo stock, or, you know, like those really bad weird images that are like someone holding a fish or something. It just does not make sense. But you can also take your own reference pictures, which I don't like looking at my face, so usually it'll just be like my hands or a certain pose or, you know, whatever, but it'll help out. And sometimes I will actually upload the picture to my my OneDrive so I can look at it instead of like holding my hand in front of me while I'm drawing, which kind of gets annoying. But yeah, I need to use a lot more references. And I don't, you know, a lot of the time I'll just draw a portrait of characters like I do recently. Like I just draw like from the shoulders up. And I really want to break away from that, because it kind of stagnates my art, and, you know, it may look interesting with just the character there, but I want them to interact a little bit more with each other and with the audience, and I think references will help out a lot with that. So that's another thing I really need to do. One of my long-term goals is to actually come up with a comic or a graphic novel, which I've been trying to do for the past year or two. And, you know, a lot of these things that I don't know how to start. Like, I just don't know how to start. I'll look at a page in other people's comics. I'm like, how do they do this? Like, what are they doing that I just don't get? And I think that my issue is not starting. I think about it too much. I overthink everything, and I just stay there and just don't do anything instead. And I really need to get away from that too. But I'm really interested in trying to learn what other people do with their comics, and that's why I'm like, recently I've been reading a lot of other people's stuff, and I think it'll help me out trying to figure out how they do it and try and implement it in my own way. But yeah, eventually I do want to create my own comic and write the dialogue and write the script and everything, and I have trouble with that too. My sister, she is a English major, so maybe I'll use her skills to help me out one day. But we always talk about making comics or a story or a book together, but one day maybe we'll figure it out. And another goal for me is finding what kind of art style works with me. And I'm not trying to find an art style, because I think that'll get you in a really tight place a lot of time and you just don't grow from there. Because a lot of people are just hyper focused on their own style and their own way that they can be recognized by other people, which is fine if that's what you want to go for, but I don't think that will actually help you in the long run. I think if you just develop and just grow and not focus on a style that'll sell or a style that will get you attention, you know, I think if you just focus on your growth, your own personal gain of what you want to get in art, that'll help you grow more. And I really do need to do that. I haven't really got my own style, honestly. Like, it's just, I notice the way that sometimes I draw, I will do the same kind of expressions or I guess the same kind of strokes or lines, and I guess that's what's considered a style. I don't really know, but I just really want to grow from what I know now and get to where I need to be to produce more art and more often, and just, you know, grow, which I think I've said the word grow like 60 times in this video, but that's important anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I guess another thing I need to do is actually study other artists, and I'm not meaning like study what makes them popular or anything, but just see what works for them and try and implement it in my own pieces in the future, because I really need to figure out how they do it and how I could do it myself, because I just, you know, like I'm drawing now, I just kind of get stagnated in this portrait kind of void, and, you know, I might make an interesting background, like I like doing stars and galaxies and maybe some mountains and trees, but I really need to do more environmental studies as well, and that's really hard for me. And I guess I should do, I'm cringing while I say this, I guess I should do more perspective, like, you know, architecture and stuff, and I just do not like that, but I know I need to do it if I really want to make a graphic novel or a comic one day. But I really just need to do it anyway and just get over myself and my fear of actually doing it. But yeah, those are my art goals for the rest of the year, and I guess for the actual future beyond this year, because I just never want to stop growing. But thank you guys for watching and listening to me, and if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up, or, you know, subscribe to me for more videos. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!